Hello. It is voice is audible, no?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Hello, students. Good morning to all. On behalf of Reva University and the School of Allied Health Science. So we are so far for 5 days we have conducted the FDP program. Today is the last talk. So this is my privilege to introduce our chief guest, Dr. P.T. Srinivasan sir. But he's having a lot of credit in his profile, but I'll give a brief, a small, sweet information to all. Dr. P.T. Srinivasan, now at present working as a head of the Department of Biochemistry, DG Vaishnava College, Arumbakam, Chennai. Second thing is basically BSc has completed from Jain College, Chennai, and the MSc also Medical Biochemistry CMC Vellore 1992, and you qualified PhD also 97 Calcutta, that means Jaipur University. Apart from MSc Medical Biochemistry, also having 3 more PG course like MA Philosophy by Madurai Kamaraj University, MSc in Bioinformatics, Manipal University, and he has completed MA in Tamil, what is called Madras University. So not only is having MSc Medical Biochemistry, apart from that, he is having extra 3 PG courses also. Second thing, he is already now also is doing paper publication, but at present he is having what is called 13 papers he has published in national and international journal levels, and also 12 papers in national and international conferences he has presented. Second thing, he so far more than 10 times he is acted as a guest lecture delivered, and apart from that he is having some awards also, like a RD Birla Scholarship Award and a National Merit Scholarship for 5 years, because he has scored in the highest mark in SLC exam conducted by Tamil Nadu Board of Examination, and also is having what is called a prize winner also. Particularly, is very much interested in table tennis, and he got some prize, first prize, second prize in the runner, as well as a not only runner, winner also as a first place, conducted by T.S. Narayanasamy College, Chennai. And also he participated and acted as a judge for various programs like quiz and college and various cultural activities also. Okay, so finally he's having almost 25 to 26 years a teaching experience, and acting as also lecturer come head of the department in Vaishnava College, Arumbakam, Chennai. This is a small introduction about our chief guest today, Dr. P.T. Srinivasan sir. Sir, behalf of Reva University, we are giving warm welcome to you. You can take over for presenting your talk today, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Veer Raghavan, for that wonderful introduction. So, good morning to one and all present here. This is my privilege to present this talk on this digital education in chemical and to be more precise in biochemical sciences. As you all aware that this corona pandemic has made most of us tech savvy persons. So those of us who did not use the computers and the information technology from the very beginning, for a long time. Most of us were using it only to check our emails and browse for our research papers and preparing some documents for our thesis or for some dissertations or project or typing research paper purposes. So apart from that, most of the Indian teachers till 2 years back were not using computers to that extent as they are using it now. So can you see my screen, all of you? Is my screen visible?
No, sir. Please share your PPT, sir. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just you can share your PPT because already you are made ready.
Yeah, can you see now?
Wait. Yes, sir. Yes.
yeah, make slides, so, sir. It will look big size.
Is it big now?
Fine, sir.
Fine, sir.
So you can see the slides, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, thank you. So the past 2 years has made most of us really a tech savvy person in all the subjects that we are dealing with, whether we are a only teacher or only researcher, or we are doing research come teaching, etc. Both for students as well as for the teachers, these 2 years had taught us a lot of digital stuff. So now many of us or most of us will be familiar with so many things regarding the teaching and other aspects of this digital education. We can call it as online education, or we can call it as digital India. There are so many terms that are being referred for the same. So today I will be focusing mainly on these four aspects about the digital education or this online education. So first I'll briefly tell about what is online education, what is the scenario in India and in the whole world, what is happening about this online education, and then I will try to introduce you to some of the digital tools. Some may be software, some may be web portals, some small gadgets that can be used, etc. And the next is to be more narrowing down to chemical sciences, like how being a biochemist or a chemist can really use these online materials and other stuff for our day-to-day activity or profession, and some tools that may be useful for teaching to the students. So from a broad perspective of this online education, the scenario of online education in India and in the world, down to the various tools and things that are available, down to that specifically that is available in chemical sciences, and down to that how we can employ the same in our day-to-day life, whether it is research or teaching or whatever it is. Okay, so now we have a pertinent question on this online education. Why has education not yet benefited from the productivity and the efficiency gains that this ICT, this information communication technology, have provoked in other systems? So in all the fields in any country, and to be in India also, you can see whether it is a financial sector or agricultural sector or banking sector, insurance sector, commerce. So in every other field of the country has seen the impact of the information technology and the development in the computer science field. But unfortunately, education system has not benefited out of that in to that extent as it is in other countries, or we can also can think of that we have not put to use the computers and the information technology to the maximum extent that we can. only during this 2 years or 1.5 years, to be more precise, we were able to see the impact of this computer science and information technology in the field of education. So, therefore, the this topic, the digital education or this online education, is very much significant. Not only now, not only in the previous year, even in the future years also, till our country attains the maximum computer literacy to all the universities, all the teachers, and all the students. This digital education or online education is going to be the buzzword for the next decade. That's what I think. Now, I'll just show you some data just for to make us to understand that what is the exact status around the world. This slide shows that number of computers at school per student throughout the country. I mean, India is not here because nobody has really counted the number of schools and number of children and number of computers that is present in this, because it is very difficult task, and especially during this pandemic period, I don't think anybody would have dared to do that also. As you can see that Australia, with its thin population, was able to provide some say 1.6 computers at school per student, and yes, the number decreases to all these countries, and I think India will be very less, because we have more number of students and more number of schools than the number of computers present in each schools. Even in those schools which has computers, there is not enough. You take any educational institution, if an institution has got some 10,000 students, there won't be 10,000 computers, obviously. So you will be having very less amount of computers. So that is also an important factor in the online education. So these are some of the pertinent things that I just want to bring it to everybody's attention, so that the digital education becomes more significant. And by this time, most of us have realized that digital education is an inevitable thing that every teacher or researcher has to learn or do things. And I'm just only trying to be one among them. So now the next question that we have is, does more computers at school make a difference in learning outcomes? Okay, we have got less computers, and suppose if the next budget, if the government is planning to give free laptops or free computers for all the students in the country, so will it make a difference? There are some studies done in some part of the world which had shown that more computers at school has got a negative impact on especially on the evolution of math performance, because we Indians are very famous for our memory. That's why we can flourish anywhere in the world. Wherever we go, Indians flourish in education sector, research, and in other sectors because of our memory. Because we do all calculations, all things by our memory. Our education system itself is totally based on, it's a memory-based education. But now only with the introduction of new education policies, that concept is slowly changing. From the memory part, there is a slight jump to the application part, the creative part, the evaluative part. Most of us are trying to follow the Bloom's taxonomy, etc., and so on and so forth. So increasing the number of computer is not the only solution to the digital India or online education or digital education. In fact, it will reduce our memory power, especially to the students, which can make them less qualified or less intelligent, or whatever we can call it, like wherever field they are entering into. Then there was also another study done to see the reading ability, the reading attitude and reading aptitude of students in many schools, done throughout in various countries and across the world. This graph shows that this bottom line is the digital reading, and this dotted line shows the print reading. So print reading is the hard book, the hard copy of the textbook or whatever the materials, and this thick line is the digital reading. So far the digital reading has been very low, not very low, little low when compared to the print reading. maybe because many people don't have access to the digital hardware, or those who have got access may not find it comfortable to read it in the digital because of some eye problems, etc., and other health related issues. So this graph is not a very significant graph as it shows, which shows an impact of digital technology on education. So what are the problems? What are the barriers in the online education that everybody is encountering today? So I am just broadly classifying it that whatever I have perceived it as a barrier. Teachers need high professional skills in the sense. So far, we have been only preparing we prepare notes and then we'll go to the class and take the class. Most of the universities may have some PowerPoint presentations with the projector, etc. And that's it. I think more than that. So we need to come out of that and learn more skills. And then low percentage of teachers with good ICT problem solving skills when compared to the other sectors. That's what I told you in the beginning. So the teachers have to equip themselves with a lot of, they should keep updated, because ICT or the information technology and computer science is a very, very rapidly developing field. Every other day or every other hour in the world, new tools and apps and gadgets are coming, catering to the needs of various sectors of the population of the society, especially the education society. So the last 2 years might have seen a lot of apps and tools that has come up to satisfy the needs of various educators. And there is a general low proficiency in problem solving skills in the technology rich environment. So many people who have learned the information technology or the digital stuff were not competent enough to use it to their teaching profession or any other aspect of their education related areas. And there are divergent profiles of students with regard to internet use. This is on the student part of it. What are the barriers on the student part of it? So students, we have different strata of students. Some are poor students, some are middle income, some are affluent families. So depending upon their knowledge of computers, only the digital education stuff comes. So we can make some generalized conclusions about this digital India, that education is a heavily personalized service, because a teacher plays a vital role in student's life in his career. So the productivity that gains through technology are limited. Although we say digital education is the need, the technology doesn't make a big impact, especially in teaching, other than the teacher, more than the teacher, I should say, more than the teacher, because the teacher is the ultimate person, especially in the teaching learning process. So the impact of technology on education delivery still remains suboptimal in our country. It's not up to the expected level. Maybe due to the overestimation of digital skills among teachers, some people thought, some teachers and some students thought, I know computer better than anybody else. So they are discovering now that there are so many things to learn. And there is some naive and hardware focused policy and implementation strategies, because some of these strategies that I can briefly tell, that in India, most of us are just now got exposed to the digital stuff. Therefore, many of us would not have bought the laptops, and even if they would have bought the laptops, they would have bought it with a low configuration. And most of them, those who have computers, may not have a proprietary software, especially the operating system and the whatever the Office edition of either the Google or Microsoft or whatever. So most of the Indians feel that even 10-12 years back I was wise like that, but then I changed my attitude towards that, and then I started getting all the proprietary softwares. It involves investment, because we were never made to feel that a proprietary software will do a better job than pirated software or anything like that. So that the pirated software has got its own limitations, and that is also having an impact on our digital education. And resistance of teachers and students, like many people still feel that board classroom is the best option to teach, because a personalized reach to the students always make a better impact than digital stuff where there is no human touch is involved in that. and lack of understanding of the pedagogy and the instructional design and low quality of educational software and courseware. Still, our country is evolving. We have only Microsoft Teams and Google Suite or something like that. Maybe our country, with all the tech savvy persons, can really come up with some our own platforms in future. I think it may come up in some near time. So some other conclusions also we can extend to that we need a platform. We need a platform for our country, because ours is a huge country with a lot of students and teachers and the universities. A common platform like Teams or Google Suite or something like that to connect education sector with education industry and other aspects. So we have certain organizations in the world like Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD. So there people around the world are doing a lot of things around the world to improve the quality of the digital education. Now, this coming to the first aspect of the online education, that so far we have been doing, initially the teaching is considered to be teaching is a preparation plus chalk and talk. That was the only thing we had it for teaching before Corona, I should say, in our country, at least in most of the educational institutions across the country. If some private institutions and some affluent, some premier institutes had a better digital equipment than the majority of the educational institutions. Now, during Corona, we are witnessing that teaching requires preparation, which is the essential essence of the teacher's profile, plus the knowledge of computers and educational tools. In fact, we need more knowledge. Computer knowledge is required, and knowledge of computer operation. This is including this troubleshooting. So many of us tend to overlook this aspect of the digital education. See, we are equipped. Suppose somebody is there, somebody has got a very good laptop, very good softwares and things like that. If something goes wrong, in the sense, small issues, not big issues, something goes wrong, whether it is in the desktop or mobile or laptop, we should be able to handle it. If it is a software related issue, hardware related issue, we have to take it to the technical person. Software related issues, like how we can solve, because every time we can't be totally dependent upon the software repair person, because it takes time. So we need to know a basic knowledge of how do we do the troubleshooting in case of some software is not working properly, and the knowledge of repositories that we have in our country. So what are the various tools, portals? Like now the government of India, with its digital initiative, had come up with lots and lots of repositories like NPTEL, Swayam. We have got so many things. RP, the Ministry of Human Resource and Development, has come out for e-Pathshala. There are so many things that are coming up, and the government is doing a very wonderful job in bringing and developing a lot of repositories for the education sector. So online class is dynamic or live, and there are two ways you can have online classes. One is we can have a dynamic or a live class, or we can have a pre-recorded videos which can be shown to the students, and questions and discussions can be had on that. So these two will have a different type of impact on our teaching. And online education, the another advantage is you can extend your services to anybody on the globe, not only to your own students in the universities. Now, if you are suppose if you are an expert in a particular field, then you can prepare your own course content. You can launch your own course. There are many portals in India. Say you have Khan Academy, you have An Academy. There are so many things that are portals available in India, where you can, in fact, you can sell your online courses. Digital marketing is another buzzword for teachers, because we do invest our time and energy in preparing for a particular topic or a particular subject. So far, we have never used it for any other purpose other than teaching. But now the teachers have got an opportunity to materialize that their preparation. So you can develop your own online courses. You can launch it on. Suppose you can develop your own websites. You can launch it on it, or you can tie up with. There are so many marketing agents across the globe and in our country. You can sell it through them. digital marketing is a very buzzword here. So now we have, this is in Europe, we have, they have developed a, what is called as an e-twinning project in Europe, which brings every country in the Europe together on a common platform, where the teachers from across all the countries, from either from Spain to Portugal to France, Germany here, and Poland, Holland, and Finland, Russia, to that extent south to Italy, Rome, Greek, and every other place, like the teachers from every part of the Europe can deliver their lectures on the selected courses. Some professors are giving free courses, some of them are giving paid courses. It depends on the teachers. How do you visualize the education from your own perspective, so that the students can be benefited out of that? And thanks to Corona, the digital education has really come up to every nook and corner of the globe, making every teacher to be visible now. So we have certification from agencies like Apple and Microsoft, where you can have certified teachers who are good in the digital stuff. So you can really do that. So it makes your visibility better. So far you would have been confined only to your department or maybe to your university. Now you have got, all of us have got a very good chance that you can expose yourself to the entire world about your whatever the knowledge and the profile that you have. Okay, now that's the first part of the my talk, that's on online education. Now coming to the second part, so what are the tools available for the teachers and maybe students also? I will not be explaining in detail all the tools, but I will just introduce you to all these tools. It will be better that if you can learn all the tools by yourself, because now you have tutorials and videos and every other thing for all these tools that you have. Okay, so the first one is for taking classes. You can use whiteboard. Many of you would have been familiar to the whiteboard in Microsoft. And then you have Jamboard, which is given by the Google, and MS Word and MS OneNote. MS OneNote is the most versatile, I'll say, tool for any educator. Like, it beats the features of any tools that are available. You have so many other tools for taking notes and preparing the content for your class preparations, like you have Evernote, and then you have so many other things that you have online, both online and offline. But I'll show you how MS OneNote beats everybody, every other competitor in the market, including that. So I'll just briefly expose you to the whiteboard of the Microsoft. And see, the whiteboard has got a very good setup that you can, especially for chemistry people and mathematics people, and say, you can say, physics people. Like, if you want to travel through so you can have, this will be the screen of the Microsoft whiteboard. Some of you might have seen. For those of you who have not seen it, I'll just show you. Never mind. So you have got all the settings here. You can use your pen. You can ink to shape. You have ink to table and object snapping. Then you can export everything, whatever you write it in here, in the form of an image. You can format your background to so ruled lines or squared lines, etc. Toolbar location. This is the toolbar, and all these things. So you can also share it with your students, and so that you can have a real-time collaboration. So the advantage of this is, here you can share. So you can share. Now if you enable this, there it will create a link. Now if you can share the link with your students, whatever you write it, the students can see from their own system online, and they can also collaborate it. Like, suppose if you are working on a project, or if you are working on something very common, if you have a team, you can have all your teams working together on this. Like, now, whatever, like, you can write it, you can see this. Now I am using my this thing to prepare. So this real-time collaboration is very good. And the another advantage of this Microsoft whiteboard is, you can just travel it like anything. You can take anywhere like this. You can take anywhere. So I have prepared some boards. Maybe I'll show you some of the boards which I have prepared previously for my own classes. So this, now you can see that this, you can just travel, you can take throughout the board, you can see, you can just keep scrolling, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. There is no end to this. It's 360-degree. You can keep scrolling everywhere, so that you can write whenever you want, especially for chemistry. That's what I'm telling. Whenever you try on for biochemistry, whenever you try to write a metabolic pathway, you know very well that the sequence of the reactions goes on and on and on. And if you want to customize it and prepare your own way of preparation, then it goes. So this is the best tool for explaining the board, whether it is a TCA cycle or glycolysis or electron transport chain or whatever, de novo synthesis. This is the best app that you can use, and you can shrink it to show the, you can also shrink it to show the entire content, so that you can see what is totally available here. You can see all these things. Now this gives a holistic picture about what is available here, and you can export it. As I said, you can export it as a high quality image or a low quality image. The advantage is this, the image will look very small. You can zoom it to any level and see the content in whatever the software that you can use. So Microsoft Whiteboard is the best board, I will say, for especially for chemistry and biochemistry students. So this is the first tool that I would like to introduce to you people. Then the next one is the Jamboard and the Google. So Google Jamboard, those of you who are used to the Google Suite, or there you would have seen when you log into your email, and on the right side you will have the 9 dots here. When you click on the 9 dots, you will have the Jamboard here. So you can access the Jamboard from here. If you click it, it will come here. So you can use the Jamboard. So this is also an interactive board where you can where you can interact with the students. So students can also in real time, they can collaborate with this. So you can see that here. So here you have the pen. So you can use the pen to you can choose the color of the pen. Say if you take white, now you can take the white, you can draw with the white. Oh, this is the eraser. You can use simple stuff, and then this is used to highlight it. Then you can also put a sticky note. Suppose if you want a sticky note, hi, welcome to the FDP program. Welcome to the FDP program. So you can have this as a sticky note. So you can have it here. So anybody can prepare. You can move it around the board wherever you want, and you can. So whenever you take a class, you can log into this, and you can ask your students to put up a small sticky note here and there as an introductory, like say introduce yourself with your name and roll number or whatever like that. They can put up here like this. So you can also insert an image from either from the URL of a website, or you can upload your own image, or you can also take from your webcam or camera, or you can also use from Google Image Researcher if you have from Google Drive. So from Google Photos, wherever you have, you can upload an image, and you can use that image for explaining your whatever the topic that you want to talk. So I think I have uploaded some image. You can use so you can also download this as a PDF for your notes. You can also download this as an image and make a copy if you want to. Suppose if you are handling a particular paper to two different classes, say for dental science you are handling biochemistry, and for physiotherapy you are handling the same topic. So you don't have to prepare it 2 times. So you have the Jamboard with you now, and you can make a copy of it, and you can use it in that Google Classroom. I mean, if at all you are using Google Suite for that, you are using Microsoft Teams, it's okay. So now you have this, that's the image you can insert, and this is the circle that you can try to create in the circle, and try to put some just to make it as a more interactive and more attractive to do that. Then you have the text box. You can type some text here, put it here. Hi, welcome to this FDP program. So, so this is just to highlight some of the online features, and this is the laser beam that you can use it to. You can just explain, so it won't stay there; it will disappear. Suppose when you are explaining, you can say that how does the copper acts. You can just use as a laser pointer. I think many of you would have been familiar with this PowerPoint. They would have used it in the PowerPoint system. So that is the Google's Jamboard, which is an interactive board, which can be used for teaching. Okay, so then the next one will be the MS Word. The MS Word. So MS Word is another versatile app. It may not have very much features, but it will have some. You can use it for some purpose for your own, when you want to prepare some question papers or something like that. How to type chemical equations in MS Word. So this is one of the most pertinent things. See why I am exposing to all these tools, because everybody will not be having the same facility or the same software or the same gadget for their own purpose, for their educational purpose. So for those of you who have got, you can use whatever. I'll try to expose you to different types of these softwares and tools, so that you can be familiar with. You can use whichever suits your requirement. Now suppose if somebody has got only some basic computer with only Word in that, and they don't have much hardware configuration for using higher end softwares like that. So how to type chemical equation? So the first method is, you can just keep typing like this: CO2 plus H2O gives H2CO3. You can just type it like this, H2CO3. Then what you can do is just select everything, and then you press Ctrl H and find and replace. So you put 2, and then you put 2. Then you have more options. You can see that in more options in the format, you can go to font. You can use it as a subscript here, and then put OK, and then replace all. So all things will become 2 will become subscript here. Similarly, then you replace 3, then you replace it with 3, then you replace all, everything will become 3. The advantage here is I'm just showing it to you for one equation. Suppose you don't have to do it for one equation. Suppose you have got a set of equations. Suppose you are preparing some question paper or a notes. Just keep typing all the equations once and save it. Then you select all the equations. See, hardly you will be having only 2-3 numbers. It will be either 2 or 3 or 4 or very rarely 5, etc. So then you press Ctrl H, find and replace 3 with the subscript. In one shot, all equations will have the subscript configuration. So this is one method of doing it. Suppose if you have got only 1 or 2 words, 1 or 2 equations, 1 or 2 molecules, not very big, then you can selectively do this, select this, and you can put subscript here, and select this, and then you put subscript here. You can also do it like now you press it as subscript here, and then you can use the format painter. You can double click this and just select it, it will come automatically. Select it, it will come automatically. So you have to double click it so that you don't have to, it will format the entire part of the equation. So this is another way of doing the equation. And another method of doing it is much better way, where suppose if you want, now here this arrow you cannot do anything. Suppose if you want to put some reagent on the top of the arrow, suppose if you want to do heating and add some cofactors and coenzymes or enzymes, then it will be difficult in this method of doing it. Now the another method of doing it, to use the insert equation tab. Insert, you have equation, you have the equation, then you will insert your own equation. Insert your own equation. Okay, so in this what you have to do is, you have to remember certain commands. Once you practice, you will remember the commands by yourself. Say for example, now I'll take the same equation, CO and then underscore 2 space, will do it like this. So space plus then H underscore 2 space will give you H2O. Then you can give some space and write H underscore 2 space will be CO underscore 3. It will give you this. Now if you want to put the equation here, now you can go to the operator here. Go to the operator. You have a lot of operators here, so you can see that here. Excuse me. So you can have it like this. So you have this yields. So you can have this part here, and you can replace this word yields with any other you want. Say you want H2SO4, you can put it like that. That H2SO4, and here also you can here typing it with a subscript and superscript will be a little bit difficult here, like this. Or if you want to insert the heating part of it, suppose if you want to put 2 up and down, so you have to choose like that. So if you want to put this, then you will have this heat. So if you want to creating a problem, then you can have this gives B, on heating gives B, something like that. So this is another way of doing the writing the equation. Suppose if you have not any other facility and just the word, the only word, then you can use this. So these are some of the ways that you can. Now I do use it in a much simpler way, because now for me it is very simple. I do is I just take it like this, I write it like this. It's simple. I don't have to really worry about all these commands. Now this is the most deadliest way that you can using the word. And then as usual, you have ink to shape. You have ink to shape is another method. Like say for example, if I press, suppose if I press ink to shape, and then if I draw a triangle like this, ink to shape, I have to select ink to shape a square, so it becomes a proper square. Suppose if I draw a hexagon, this, then if I press ink, you have to join all the lines. There is some gap, then it won't work. You can see. Shape. So you can do, suppose if you're drawing a hexagon or a pentagon or something like that, you can use it like this. So it is really a very useful. And ink to math is another suppose if you have got something like this, x by 2 plus y by 3 equal to z plus 4. Now you insert it, you could get the equation here as it is. Very simple. Very simple. So suppose you can let's say I write 1 by v equal to max by am max by, yes. Okay, now you insert, so you get it, you insert it. So these are all some of the easier way that you can. The ink to math is such a useful thing that you can really do it. You can add more, add pencil, you can use highlighter, you can draw with your finger also. You can draw, like suppose if you have, you can use your finger. Say this you can draw very easy. This, so I'm using my finger. I'm using my finger to draw this. So you can this. So this is, you can also use, you have the eraser, you can just erase it, So you have a drawing canvas, you can choose your own canvas and you can draw whatever you want, and you can export it as a page. You can also do it. So this is another word where the advantage of using Word is your margins are fixed. But in Microsoft Jamboard, we saw whiteboard has got 360-degree, it just keeps flowing. So you don't have that facility in the Microsoft Whiteboard. Okay, so that is about the MS Word. Okay, now we'll come to the most versatile app, that is the uh, Microsoft OneNote. Microsoft OneNote, which is very, very versatile. Uh, Now, there are two versions of Microsoft One. Those of you who are not familiar with the app, have a thing here. You can use your own account if you have. Uh, you can store it in the cloud, or you can have a standalone also. So you have got a lot of options here. You can create notebooks. You can create notebook. You can create sections. Create page in each section. Like say for example, I have MSc Bioinformatics class I take. So I have bioinformatics, I have different pages of OS. So you can create your own page. And the advantage is, this is the first advantage. So you have a notebook, and then you have a section, and then you have page for each section. And the advantage is you can just, the first advantage is, the number one advantage is, as and when you talk, now you have the option, say if you go to insert option here, you have got two options. You can insert audio or you can insert video. Okay, suppose if you press audio, record audio, and your whatever you talk will get recorded in the screen. Okay, so and whatever the video that you press here, what you will have the video that is stored here, and that video will be there forever. Whenever you want, you can back to the, you come back to this OneNote again, you can see the video. So you can insert an online video from YouTube. You can insert an online video from YouTube here. Or suppose if you are preparing on a particular topic, say suppose I am preparing on alignment in bio. So you can go to YouTube and you have some good YouTube videos. You insert that link here so that you can refer it, you can watch it later. You don't have to pull it in one different places. So you can put everything in OneNote. Then you can insert Excel sheet, you can insert a file, you can insert a file printout. File printout is now, this is the PowerPoint that I have inserted. When you insert a file printout, the entire file gets printed here in the form of the PowerPoint presentation. But when you insert a file as an attachment, it comes like this. So you have to press the link. Now this is a file attachment. So if I click this, it will open to the link. Now I have put this as a file printout. You can also insert a space. Suppose if you have prepared some notes like this, and suppose you want to insert something here, and you forgot to add something here. Now you have an option called insert space. You go to this insert space, then you can just keep pushing it down, and you can insert whatever you want. Okay. Insert whatever you want. So you can also insert space in later. When you come back, you get some extra points. You can insert it here. You can adjust the text. You can change the color of the text. You can do everything that you want this text. So it is highly customized. Here also you have the equation part. Like you can have ready-made equations for mathematics people. The equations are the ready-made equations you can insert, or you can insert your own equation. Like you can type your equation. Say x divided by 2 plus y divided by 3 is that divided by 4. So you have this. See, in Word you have to convert it into an insert equation form. Here it just like that it takes. That is another advantage of OneNote app. And suppose if you are doing some calculations, OneNote does very beautifully. Like so, now you see here 2 plus 3 equals what? 5. You get it. Suppose if you want to multiply 6.023 into 3.14 equals what? So you get the answer. So you don't have to really wait for something. So 22 divided by 7 equals. So you get the answer. So you don't have to go for the calculator, you don't have to go for the YouTube, you don't have to go MS Word, you don't have to go for any math related app. Everything you get it in the OneNote. Suppose if you are doing some calculations, you can do this. Okay. So and you can also insert lines and etc. Here you can have the graph, 2-dimensional graph. You have 3-dimensional graph. You can do this. You can insert the graph for showing the or whatever, whenever you do the mathematics, you can do this thing. So then the another here is you have the in the insert also you have the date and time page templates. You have different types of templates. You can use those study templates for writing your own notes. Then you have the symbols as usual. You have stickers also. You have now Microsoft is constantly upgrading the lot of things, and you can also do the clipping here. So now everything is put in the OneNote itself, that you don't have anything. So you have screen clipping. You just clip the screen, then you can just select it something like this. You can clip the screen. See, it automatically comes here. So it automatically comes here. So this is a wonderful app. I think I can go on and on explaining this. You don't have to save this. That's another advantage. You don't have to save this. It just gets saved automatically by itself. Even in offline also, it gets saved by itself. Okay. So I can go on and on. MS OneNote. Then we have the is it okay like now am I taking more time?
No, it's okay,
Okay,
sir.
up
It's
to
fine, sir.
okay,
Go.
okay.
Because I didn't realize. I thought yeah, I'll expose to you for all the
Maximum 10 to 15 minutes you can take this.
okay.
It is, sir.
Yeah, 15 minutes I'll end up here. So yeah, the next one is the PDF editors. Now many of us are wanting of the digital stuff from the internet. So most of us are downloading the ebooks from various sources. You have the PPTs and many other materials that are available in the PDF. Now most of us don't have the PDF editable software. I'll teach you a very easy way to edit a PDF. Very easy way to edit a PDF is, suppose if you have an answer sheet to correct. If you want to correct an answer sheet, suppose if the students have written an exam and they have scanned the answer sheet and they have uploaded your class test or whatever assignment or whatever that you have given, you can use MS Edge, that is the Microsoft Explorer that you have. So I'll just show you how you can do that using the Microsoft Edge. So suppose you open this, you open it with the Microsoft Edge. Okay, so this is you can open it, and in the Microsoft Edge you have the option of this draw. So here you can choose the color. You can choose the color, and that will act as a pen. So you can see that you can put a tick here like that. Put one mark, put a tick here, one mark here. You can put a tick here. You can put a one here. You can save it. The best part is you can save it, and this file is there like a corrected answer sheet. So whatever you want, you can just you can just do this with like this. So you can correct it if you want. You can correct it. Like that. You can also if you want, you can print it, or if you want, you can save it. Save as. You can convert it into some other format also if you want. To save it as another format also, you can do it just like that. You can save it and you can send it back to the students after your correction. So you can correct. So this is the first thing that you can. Then the next one is Liquid Text. This is a very recent software that has come up. I'll show you how you can correct using the Liquid Text PDF. So you can note down all these terms. You can Google it and find out from the. Now this is another versatile software. The advantage here is you have two screens here. You will have two screens. So where you can do the correction, you can choose the pen mode. You have the eraser highlighter mode, and then you have the eraser mode. The advantage here is you can keep scrolling like this, and you can write whatever comments that you want here. So if you want, you can write. You can use the comment. You can use the comment. You can say that this is not correct. You can say it should be like this. It should be like this. You can say whatever the comment that you have. I want. You can ask. Oh, please explain. So suppose if the student, you can give your own comments here. That is the most advantageous part of it. Advantage part of it is comment on this. So you can whatever you want as you interacted with the answer sheet. Now the best part is, now if you scroll down, now you see it doesn't go. It just gets stick to it. So you can keep scrolling it and you can keep correcting the papers. Here also if you want, you can scroll up and down, and you can also keep the same comment for other items also. Then you can export it here. Send as a liquid text file, you can send it as a PDF file, you can send only notes only, you can send, or auto send, you can set up your own auto send. So the students, when you send it, they will get along with the comments. Whatever that you have used, you can send it as a comment along with it. So this is another latest software that has come up for correction for the teachers using this. So now I am doing it not to send, because this I have to correct it correctly. I'm just showing it demonstration purpose. Then the next thing that you have is the trial versions of various softwares that you can. Adobe you have, then Pressure PDF element, Nitro PDF element. So you can use the trial versions. So what you can do is, once you go there, you use the trial versions of the software and you can do whatever corrections that you want. Suppose if you want to comment and you have pencil here, pencil comment you have. So once you have the pencil, you have this, so you can use your color here, you can use your color here, and then you can do all these corrections. You can do all these corrections, you can put the correct and you save, then put one mark, all these things here. Now in this trial version, what you can do is, once you do the corrections, you can't save it. So go to the file, go to the print option, and then print it as Microsoft Print to PDF. That's all. So if you choose this option and you print it, then this page will be saved as a PDF file. It will be saved as a PDF file with no watermarks. There will not be any watermarks in this type of saving. So you can use whatever the trial version that you have, any software that you can use it to do that. Then you can also separate the pages. Suppose if you want to extract this page, suppose if this page is not correct, you can extract this page. So this page alone will come up. Now you go to file and then you go to print, then you will save it as Microsoft Print to PDF, and print, this one page will be printed separately. So you can split whatever the PDF that you want. You don't have to buy a licensed software. You can use the trial versions of any software, and then instead of saving, you go to this and do the print and you can get it. So I'm just closing this. So that is another thing that you can do with the PDF software. Like that you have various. And the next thing that I want you to introduce you to is the ultimate search engine for mathematics. So this is called as Wolfram Alpha. Wolfram Alpha, one of the most versatile. So this is something like a Google for life science and mathematics. Life science and mathematics. So as you can see here, there are different subjects you have. All subjects you have. Computational, so materials, earth science, engineering. So what this thing does is, suppose you go to mathematics, suppose you want to go to algebra, or if you can also go for statistics, whatever you can go. You can give a quadratic equation here. So you can use a quadratic equation. You can say that solve. So you can just delete this and say solve say x square plus 3x minus 5 square minus 3x 6 or whatever. You can say minus 6 equals 0. Now you press this equal to, it will give you the quadratic equation factors. So it will solve and give you what are the roots, two roots, quadratic equation roots, and it will also draw the graph for the same y is equal to mx plus c type of things. So you can solve, you can find out the correct answer to all the questions here using this Wolfram Alpha. You can solve your polynomial, you can solve your, especially this will be very helpful for statistics, for those who are doing research, and you can see that here. Suppose you have now you have some numbers you have, say 2, 2, 4, that if you have, now you can now find the mode for this mode. This, now you know what you should be aware of what is mode. You should be available with the syntax of the thing. So it's very simple. By practice you will come to know. Now this is the mode you will have. Suppose if you want to find out the mean for this, try this. You give a set of numbers for mean, it will give you the mean value. And if you want to find out the standard deviation for this, get the standard deviation for all the set of data that whatever you have, so it will give you the value. So it straight away gives you the value. You can also go by step solution. So those who are doing biostatistics and other type of subjects who are handling it, you can use this. But now the problem is, sir, will I read all these things? Will I know all these things? That is the problem. That's what I said in the beginning of my lecture. Inclination of the teachers and students to learn the new softwares here. So Wolfram Alpha is the best and the versatile platform for life science researchers and science students, because this is computational intelligence. I told you, does any work, you ask any questions, unlike Google which gives only information, this does computation, computes, it calculates and gives you answers to all your questions. You can find out the do a population mean, you can do a kurtosis, you can do a chi-square test, you can do a t-test, find out the probability significant, regression analysis, everything you can do. Normal distribution, Poisson distribution, what is the skewing factor, everything that you can do. Material science, earth science, I want you to learn it by yourself. The next thing that I want to show you, then you have to take class. You have the YouTube, Facebook, Google Meet, MS Teams that you are using, StreamYard, Flipgrid. You can just note down all these words and Google it and find out. Then another thing I want you to expose you is the Irwin camera. Suppose if you don't have a very good laptop or a very good mobile or anything. Suppose if you don't have a very good laptop, what you can do is you can install this Irwin camera. This is an app. Okay, so this is an app. You can go to the website Irwin camera. So this you can install for Windows or for Mac or for Ubuntu. You can install. Once you install, okay, this will act as you can use your mobile camera for your purpose. Suppose if you have got a very good camera in mobile. So we have the Irwin webcam here. Now if I use if I go to Irwin webcam, my talk will be hindered. So I'm just showing you here. It turns your phone into wireless webcam. So now your phone and your laptop should be connected to the same network. Okay, you install the Irwin webcam in your phone also. You install the Irwin webcam in the computer also. Then both are connected by means of Bluetooth. Then you can take your webcam anywhere inside the lab and show whatever you want, because they are connected by Bluetooth. You can show whatever with a good resolution of your mobile camera. Suppose if you have got a very good camera, Vivo, or now in market you are getting a lot of good mobile phones with 68 megapixels camera, 108 megapixels. So you can use that mobile camera for your own purpose, especially when you want to show some biological stuff. Suppose if you want to focus on a cell, you can use it in your microscope. Suppose if you have a compound microscope, you can remove the eyepiece of the compound microscope and you place your mobile camera on that, and you can zoom it and take a good picture of that cell, and then you can show it on the screen. So that is the another thing that I show you here, Irwin camera. And then the Mentimeter, I'll come to that later. Then you have the softwares that are available for visualizing the molecules in the three-dimensional motion. Okay, so this is that software, Rasmol. Now you can see when you open the Rasmol, it will be a blank screen. You can open a file using whatever. You should have loaded the file. Now you can load. This is a biomolecule. You can see the information of the biomolecule. This is citrate synthase. Suppose if you are not very comfortable with the background, you can change the background. Set background white. So you have the white. Now you have this enzyme. You can suppose if you want to show the active site of this enzyme. So what you can do is you can go to this, select if you know the active site amino acids, select say 23rd amino acid, 34th amino acid, 28th amino acid, say 24, 26, 28 and 33. These are the amino acids which are involved in the active. I'm just randomly giving some number, but you can always find out from the literature what are the amino acids involved in the active site of the enzyme. So if you select now, these atoms are select. Now you can make it to ball and stick model here, and you can show that you can see that this is you can see that these are all, this is the active site of the enzyme. You can highlight it. You can use it for your research purpose. Label this. You can also label this. You can label these amino acids. Label you can see the labeling here. Okay, you can see the labeling here is a ALA. ALA is here. This name amino acids will be labeled. So this is one of the software. I'll take another 5 minutes and then I'll wind up. So
Okay.
so this is the RasMol software where you can visualize the molecules in the 3 dimension. Do it. You can see the angle, bond angle between that. You have tight bond angle, you have pi angle, chi angle. You do the Ramachandran plot. I mean, I can do a workshop on each software separately. Like that much of information is available for each software. So I think you can learn it by yourself. The Swiss BDB viewer is another advanced version of this RasMol software. Then you have the Avogadro software, which is again something similar to that, where you can so you can also visualize the molecule in 3-dimensional motion. Use it for study purpose. Okay. And then for those students who don't have a laptop, if you want to give some assignments based on these molecules, they can use this iMol software. So they can use this iMol. I'll just show you. You can link your mobile to your laptop or whatever the computer that you have, and you can. So you can connect and show whatever the content that you have with your. So I'm trying to connect my mobile now to the laptop. Then so there are methods by which you can Google it and you can find out how you can pair it. There are a lot of videos. If you want, I'll also tell you later. You can just see the command that I'm using it. Now I am pairing my mobile with the laptop. And you can also show to the students how they can use their mobile for teaching or studying whatever that you are teaching through online if they don't have the stuff. So now I have connected my mobile to the laptop. So suppose if I want to visualize the mobile. So now I can read my messages and make a phone call. So I can do all these things. Here. I can access the files in my mobile, whatever the photos that I have. I can do the call, etc. Now my whole mobile can be accessed. Okay. So in the mobile you will have that iMol is a software that I have it on the iMol Lite is the you have just show you the link. You can tell the students to download this software from the internet and they can. So this is a mobile for iPhone, iPad and Android for visualizing the molecules in the 3-dimensional thing that you can show and you can study this. So a molecule is better understood, reactions are better understood when it is done using the. So then these are all some of my websites. I just want to show it to you. This is finding free time. There are a lot of free websites that are given that many servers are being. create your own website, put all your content and the data and the videos that you generate so that it is available to anybody in the because you have I'm doing some preparing some courses. You can also have your own stores, online store, you can sell your course, do all these things. So I have a YouTube channel, watch my YouTube. I have all informations given in the YouTube channel. Put all the videos on. You can have a look at it. Facebook. Question?
Yes. Hello, students. Of course, sir has given lot of information, and those who are having doing PhD, because you may need a lot of like these online effects. So you can ask any clarification, any doubt from Dr. P.T. Srinivasan sir. Yes, students, anybody, and even faculty also can ask any questions.
You can take down my mobile number. In future also, if you have any doubts, you can in touch with. I mean, if you need any help,
Yes.
I'll be only glad to help you.
So those who are doing PhD program and biointerpreter is concerned, so we can ask any clarification with Dr. P.T. Srinivasan sir.
You can do
So
your,
any
yeah.
question?
Yeah, hello sir.
Yeah.
Hello sir, sir. Sir, one thing is there in online class and offline class that what I can say that emotional attachment. So something we have to that physical appearance there and understanding or not, that is not there in online. So that's why we will try in COVID also we have to follow protocol, but we'll go offline, that will be better. Even from our students also we got that some feedback, and faculty also we are so this is the not that right way to teach and to learn actually. Okay, so we are moving toward that. No, online it is not good for everything all to learn, and then so many things practical also there. So I think so. What is your thoughts, sir? This is the completely means how can resolve it? Whatever that emotional attachment is there, sometimes that body language also it will matter. They are understanding or not, and how much they are understanding. Through that one we can find out okay who is understanding, and how much they are understanding through that. Just looking their face, looking through eye, we can find out. But this thing is missing in online class. Okay.
Correct. Correct. You are right. 100% you are correct. Our system of education is very much systematized and standardized for that personal emotional touch. The students learn mostly because of the respect to the teachers. They respect a teacher, they like a teacher, therefore they study. Many of the students I have seen in my own personal experience. Apart from their own interest in learning the subject, the teacher plays a very vital role in the learning process of a student, especially in the lower classes, say in the school level. Maybe in college level, the things may be different because the students are more than 18 years old. They are expected to think about themselves, like they can take their own decisions. But that emotional touch, yes, not there. You can't substitute that in the online class, and that is missing. And well, as we have been discussing so far, digital online has become the order of the day, and you should try to see the advantage of the online and the digital education. Where when I was studying, I never knew anybody outside my college. In fact, outside my department, I never knew anybody. I never met any professor in other departments because we used to come and go like that. But now a student has got access to so much of information, so much access to all the professors across the world. So if you go to MOOCs, Swayam, NPTEL, and all those type of portals, where you have got lectures given by the IIT professors. So online is purely academic, no emotional, no physical bondage or etc. like that. Purely academic.
Yes.
So if you are purely academic and research oriented, yes, then online is the best thing where you can access to. If you have a doubt on any research topic, immediately you can call a professor in US if he is available. Then you can do a video chat and you can solve the question immediately. when I was doing research, there was no internet at that time. Imagine if I want to get an article, I was doing research in Calcutta, I have to travel down to Bengaluru, come to Indian Institute of Science, stay there in the guest room, request it to the librarian, wait for him to come, then go to the section and find out the volume and the book, then take out that book and take a Xerox copy.
Print out.
It will take 3 to 4 days. Now traveling from Calcutta to Bengaluru is 1.5 days. Up and down is 3 days. Staying there for 2 days. 1 week is lost for getting one research paper. Can you imagine that? That is the advantage of online education. Of course, both will have merits and demerits. But yes, you are right.
And I think so. One thing also we are missing, that is that how that relation between that one teacher and a student should be, how to teach them always to be in discipline and that respect whatever that is there. No, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara. I mean, definitely that is going to the value, it will coming down, and this is important for those actually who is staying that will not reach actually to their physical presence. So it is the suppose very far and other state, other they can't reach out. So for them, if they are sincere, definitely this online it will be very very good for them. I hope they will follow that, how their teacher they are giving respect to nearby their own teacher. They will give an online teacher also in the same way. Thank you so much, sir. It's very nice.
Yes, students, scholars, any questions? Hello, students. This is scholars. Any students? Because faculty is asked this question. Whatever scholars, whatever the MSc students.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes.
Between
Some echo voices.
Microsoft Whiteboard and Google Jamboard, it has got more advantages, sir, when user friendly.
Google Board and Jamboard. No. Which one? Google Board?
Microsoft Whiteboard and Google Jamboard, which is more user friendly.
Microsoft Whiteboard is user friendly.
Okay, sir.
Because,
you mean to say
because
that
it is offline.
Okay. So even in offline, we can save the content. That is what you said, right, sir?
Yes, you can save. I mean, you don't have to save. It automatically saves by itself, even in offline. You don't have to save it.
Yes, you mentioned already. Automatically.
For Google Jamboard, we require the net facility to save the content.
Exactly.
And
Unless you have a streaming bandwidth, you won't be able to write as smoothly as you write it in the offline. In offline, you can write it very smoothly, but in online, you can't write it that smoothly unless your internet bandwidth is so good.
Okay. So thank you very much. It was a very, very informative speech, sir. And it was a very technology-oriented session, and it is very beneficial for the teachers, I guess. Thank you so much for your informative talks, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, any other students? Okay, sir, shall we close this program? I mean,
there are no more questions. Then
Just a minute. Let me do that. Conclude that completely.
Yes. Hello, sir. Actually, I want to tell you on behalf of Reva University and School of Allied Health Science Department. So, Dr. P.T. Singh, sir, you are given lot of information concerned with what's the use of the ITC and various tools, how it will be utilized for teachers, because nowadays, of course, what you mentioned, everything is online. And also, Dr. Ramesh sir mentioned, of course, the discipline aspect is demerit is there, but merit in the sense what we mentioned from Calcutta to Bangalore, IASC for collecting internet, of course. So not only that one, because while studying PhD, for collecting any article or abstract, we spend nearly 60 rupees per hour. And same time, we should go to so many places and cyber center for collecting the information. But nowadays, not like that. Within a fraction of time, of course, what is called the information is getting. Anyhow, Dr. P.T. Singh, sir, he has given lot of information concerned with not only for students, not only for research scholars, particularly for teachers. Also, he has given some ideas, particularly by writing the chemical equation not only the metabolism papers, sir, in all the places, and how we can utilize the online and the materials and tools will be utilized for creating the equations in the proper manner. Of course, so behalf of Reva University and personal as a friend, lot of thank you, sir. You have given lot of the information to all aspects. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
And also,
Vedagavan. Yeah, I wish I had more time to explain because I was prepared with so many other things which, due to lack of time, I couldn't really.
of course, you are stated to your NAC program. I got information you are a NAC program is also going on in the college. So while requesting, you are accepted. You have done a beautiful job. Thank you. Thanks a lot from the Department of Biochemistry from the University, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, sir, we can conclude.
Yeah, just last procedure. So good morning to all dear faculties member and the scholar who participated all these 5 days DP. So this is the recent advancement and how we'll see actually sir given very updated information. I hope everyone will get benefit from this one. Okay, so this is the advancing STEM. So everyone will get that e-certificate for registered participant. Okay, so one thing I'll request to everyone, fill that feedback form so that will help us to know that we need to go back and that will be okay. So and that